What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Blues people, you come here to learn them blues, and that's what gonna happen. This is Jack Dapper Blues yet again on WFDU HD2. Now, I have a special guest joining me right now. Like I told you guys earlier, a few minutes ago, last week, a week before. Besides, the music is an extension of the culture, traditions, heritage, and people. So as we celebrate the blues, we must celebrate those things as well. Also, we have to understand that it runs deep. How does it run deep? Now, I shared with you all earlier that I lost my oldest brother this past weekend. And our cousins, we lost cousins, we lost relatives, we lost close friends, all in the same proximity and age. Not that young, but too young to die. Those of you who know my song know what I'm talking about. So it's imperative that we look at the entire scope of the diaspora, which is why I have the special guest I have with me right now, because there's an epidemic of black men, brown men, white, whatever, women as well, dying at young ages. March 15th at the New Amsterdam Musical Association, there's going to be a lecture on health and on foods, and the headliner is on the line with me now. Sir, Dr. Bombay, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Well, I got the blues.
Well, that may not be a bad thing. It's like inflammation. Once you see it, then you know that there's something you got to do about it. You know, and music, of course, as we grew up, also in India, which is where I was born. Music served, the vibration served for healing purposes also. It wasn't just for, just putting on a song. It was healing in itself. And so what you're doing and providing to the people, is a blessing.
I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. And with that being said, let's, I guess, dive right into your upcoming lecture. And before we get into the lecture, for those who don't know who you are and what you share with the people for their benefit, could you set it up? Give us a bit of you.
Okay,
Can you hear me, sir?
I kind of went in and out. Say that again, brother, one more time.
Set the stage for us. Let us know what it is you do, what you're promoting, and introduce yourself to those who should know who you are but may not.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a little background so that you have a better idea as to how I grew up and how it relates to our ancestral, wisdom. All these different things have wisdom behind it. If our ancestors weren't behind it, we wouldn't be in front of it right now. So I grew up in India. I was like 8 years old when I came to America. Didn't know a word of English.
Wow.
Put me back a grade on top of that.
Wow.
Learning English. I was reading at 8, 9 years old. I was reading books like, A is for apple, B is for boy, C is for cat. Those little books.
Right, the Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss and Green Eggs and Ham, and went up the hill to get a pail of water, fell down the hill. Now, we've been doing that all our life in India, going to the well and getting water. We ain't falling down or falling up no hills.
No, we have not.
Jack must have been, a little retarded or something.
In other words, what made him fall?
From the hill, we go up the hill and we go fetch a pail of water because that's how you got to get out of the well. And everybody, I'm telling you, men, women, boys, girls, they all had abs back in the days in our village. Cause you gotta push that bucket down there. You got a big rope on it with a pulley. and you drop that bucket in there a couple times till it fills up, and then you're like pulling it up. That's abs, my friend.
Absolutely.
Not only getting your water, but getting healthy while you get your water.
There you go. There you go. Exercise and everyday routines. I hear you.
So we get lazy. So they give us things to make us lazier and lazier and lazier. And when we start getting lazy, you know what happens. Things shut down. We stop doing things. We stop being active, and then we start getting bigger because we're not exercising. The energies that we're creating by way of digestion. Digestion, you get the energy. You get up and you do your elimination and all that stuff. But you go and exercise too. Just walking down the hill, walking up the hill, and then coming back with a big pail of water on top of your head, so our necks were strong.
Absolutely. Wow.
That's probably why they tried to enslave us, because we got strong necks.
I hear that. So what it sounds like you're setting up here is a natural, everyday way of taking care of your instrument. Am I correct? Almost. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. I mean, what does it take for you to walk up to your faucet and get a glass of water? What does it take to just go into the shower, turn the shower on, and now you got yourself a nice running shower? It's nothing. And
right.
They're giving you because it's so easy, and I hate to say it like that, but the negative forces always give you things that make it easy for you. You know what I mean? And like nowadays, look at these cell phones. Man, I can't remember my auntie's phone number because there she is.
Right. It's, irony, the irony of that, a running joke between myself, my wife, my mother, and my brother, who the one is still with us. Well, I have a couple with us, thank God. But the irony is, when I was younger, I remembered everybody's phone number, and I don't remember anyone's phone number at this day and age. Not because I'm getting older, but I don't have to receive it and remember it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, and God forbid you get arrested. Taking 911, that's not the right number.
So, all right. So now we set the stage here. So we're being coddled to the point that everything is extremely too convenient, and as a friend of mine used to say, in arm's reach, and that is somewhat of our downfall.
Absolutely, I'd rather be an astronaut farmer than an Alzheimer's idiot.
Okay. So now let's talk about.
That's the truth.
No, I get it. I'm very, because what we're discussing right now is a bigger blues than just what regular oppression. We're talking about the oppression and the programming of not utilizing our organ and instrument. Correct?
Yes, and just like blues, you're playing an instrument that has a vibration that is coming from your fingers onto that instrument, and it's creating a vibration that is calming, because you're going through hell, and then you need something to connect with, a vibration that you can let it go. Because one thing about us, we gotta let things go,
Mm-hmm.
How to let things go properly. That's called digestion. And what I'm talking about is not only the digestion in your stomach, where you do have to let things go too. If you don't let them go, you're going to be stuck with a whole lot of stuff.
So could you elaborate on that? Because there is a thing of not just keeping in or taking in bad food, but taking in bad energies and holding on to them. Could you elaborate on that and show the connection for the audience, please?
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. The whole world is a digestion. All the black matter, if you look at what they call the black matter, they always call it black. Because because that's where everything came from. You know, I'm proud of knowing that myself, that the truth will set you free.
Right.
You got all this black matter, let's say it's 100%, and then there was that movie Lucy. Remember, she was trying to reach 100% of her gray matter, which came out of the black matter.
Right. I remember that movie.
So now you got digestion. So the universe is digesting.
Mm.
That 30% of digestion, which is through what they call thermodynamics, or what the Big Bang, as they talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's what a hot combustion. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Happens initially in your digestion too. So now the universe just had a hot combustion, and now it's getting ready to do what? To make body parts. Just like your digestion is intended to make body parts. So when you got people running around replacing knees and hips, incomplete digestion.
Wow.
So now the universe just had this big thermodynamic explosion or whatever, and now the outcome of that digestion in the universe is what? The solar system, the planets, you know, the moons and everything. It's all part of that digestion, the Milky Way. All of this came by way of digestion. Just like when you eat something, you digest it, and then you do what? You make body parts. You make it tissues, eyes, brain cells, bones, you know, all these things. And cellular fluids, which is your reproductive fluids.
Now, hold on now. I'm happy you touched on that, because you're speaking of the digestive system as being creative in regards to the things that our system needs. So where does waste fit into that? Because certain things can't be digested when you eat, so it has to be removed from the system.
Correct. So look at the word digestion. Di meaning two, like dipolar. Di means, so there's two things going on that needs to go on in order to have proper digestion. One, you need to be able to, when you eat something, you need to be able to assimilate the nourishment that's in the food.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
One. The other part is elimination. So you got assimilation and elimination. That's the duality that you have to face when you're dealing with digestion.
Mm.
Now, if you're not going to the bathroom and eliminating, that's a problem.
Well, it absolutely is on the system and the stomach. So now I'm happy you brought that up. That's a great segue, because a lot of people face that and then try to figure out how to remedy it. And in some cases, they may lead to what some call alternative ways, and some may lead to products like pills and things. So let's start with, if you're having a problem with the latter of the two, the elimination, what stems that problem? Let's start with that.
Well, let's start with the facts.
Okay.
Not alternative, brother. We are the original. We've been doing this for years. They just been around recently, and popping those pills and stuff is the alternative that you're going towards.
Mm.
Or when your creator gave you everything you need to take care of yourself, now you run to the alternative, which we're the original, they're the alternative. When you run to the alternative, which is them, what do you face? You're going to face what?
Death?
More problems. Why? Because they being alternative to the original, they can't be the original.
Mm.
And in the original, you become whole.
Mm.
Is what? Become whole. Let me just say this disclosure. I am not here communicating and on your show trying to promote the concept of curing, because that's not my jurisdiction. That is their jurisdiction. They came along with the licenses, 8 years of college, and they're trying to cure you. And I'm not angry with them. I love them for what they are, because they do serve a purpose, but they have gone beyond their purpose.
Mm. Is this what one would call a God complex?
Well, you know, that's what I call public controversy.
Okay.
You know, and I'm not here to create controversy. I'm here to bring love.
Absolutely.
Because love is what heals everything.
Absolutely. So, okay. So, all right. Now, understanding the difference between the original, the alternative, and how the alternative turned to the dark side, so to speak. What if someone is having an issue with the elimination part of the digestion?
Yes.
Could we start with the facts of what created that issue?
Okay. Well, there are many different things that create the issue. The number one thing is that people have stopped drinking water.
Mm.
If you get up in the morning, it is said in India, which is where I was born, with the ancient ones and with the ancestors, with swamis and gurus and whatever you want to call, they're up in the mountaintops and they're holding on to this wisdom, and they're not allowing anybody to touch that information, that wisdom.
Right.
You know, a lot of people chase information. A lot of people get a whole lot of information, and they still don't know what's going on.
You got that right.
Then you go back on the internet because you think you know everything, and then they chase it, and they got some knowledge, but they still don't have the wisdom of what is really going on.
Mm.
Now you take the whole world right now. Everybody on this planet, digestion is off.
Mm.
Why?
Why?
We're eating foods that have seeds that have been raped. This is their word, rape. I didn't create it.
Okay.
The DNA. So they took your apple and they raped the DNA of the seed in the seed because that's what creates the tree, the fruit. Huh?
Right.
So now they rape that DNA. So now when you rape the DNA, because what they're trying to do is say, okay, people are complaining about pesticide, herbicide. So they rape the DNA so that it would be herbicidal, pesticidal in its creation.
Mm.
God didn't do that.
Absolutely not.
Because we got a symbiotic relationship with nature. You know, and if the pets are not eating these apples, why the hell are we eating these apples? Excuse my language.
No, that's quite all right. That's a great question. Actually, that is a great question.
In 1970, I came to this country. Man, I would go with my mother to Kroger's, and she would buy us those Keds and Pro Keds, you know what I mean?
I remember. I used to get those.
The Pro Keds, you remember?
I sure do. The real thick soles.
Yeah, rubber. So your foot breathes, you know what I mean? You're breathing real good. You know, that sweat wasn't creating, funguses and athlete's foot and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Remember, after the Keds went out, Converse went out, people started buying those crazy sneakers, the plastic stuff. All of a sudden, everybody now buying Tenactin and all this kind of stuff. I shouldn't even mention that. You know, for athlete's foot, funguses, and they can't get near fungus out of it.
Wow. So, you know, I have to go to the left for a second because I have to ask you this. And please, by all means, if you do not want to answer, do not.
That's fine.
Is this just a situation of mass production oversaturating the market, or is this intentional?
Well, intent is very powerful. You know, and sometimes intent will steer you in those directions. And it will seem like you're part of a controversy because you're part of the same group of people that have only one intention in mind, which is to get over on you.
Mm.
To profit from you, profiting from you. A doctor has to profit from you because if he don't profit from you, then all his expenses of $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 they paid to go to medical school. How are they going to handle that?
That's the truth.
So they have to profit. So once they profit, they're doing things in a certain way. Are they misaligning themselves? Yeah. But I'm not their judge.
I understand that 100% wholeheartedly.
So if somebody is trying to sell you vitamin C, because they read about vitamin C. They say, oh my God, vitamin C, blah, 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 blah. So now what they do, they go and find ways to make vitamin C. What's the easiest way? The cheapest way. So you want to make maximum profit now. In order to make maximum profit, you're going to buy that vitamin C for 1 cent and you're going to sell for $10.
Absolutely.
That's called profit. That's a profit motive. It's an intention. We are brothers and sisters to each other. My intention with you is not to profit from you. What the Bible says, what profits a man's soul?
Absolutely. What profits a man if he sells his soul for the gain of this world? It's supposed to be reciprocal and not one-sided. Absolutely.
There you go. That answers the whole question.
So now let's talk a bit about what you actually do. Right? Now we know that you have a lecture coming up. We know that you are a proponent and a champion for life and love and health. How do you move this terrain? Do you have clients? Do you give talks? How do you go about this?
It's called education. You know, some of the younger brothers and sisters say education.
So you educate people on how they can get back to our roots. This is what you're saying.
Well, education and also reminding people that they are the Creator's child, and that's why you're my brother and sister, because we have the same Father. Now, that Father did not send you down here to let you down. Now, when you chase the wrong Father, then you're going to be let down. Because if you forget who your real Father is and what He put on this planet for you, now you're chasing the other Father, and the Pope is not my Father.
No, that's real. That's real, 100%. Right. So, okay. So, in that situation, what I'm getting from you, and what I'm getting from you is being deterred or distracted and unaligning yourself with your real Father and following the other one. That's how you begin this downward spiral of destroying the temple.
You just put your Father at this ease because He's looking at you going, what the hell is wrong with you? You forgot who your Father is? Well, I'm older than you. You got more Alzheimer's than me.
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I mean, I hope it's okay to speak like this, but the Bible says what? Become whole.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a passage missing there.
Which is?
The passage is become whole, not just a hole.
Okay, so now.
I would tell my son that. I'm like, yo, become whole, not just a hole, you know?
Yeah, right. No, but it's the truth. So what I would like you to tell the people what it is other than the lectures that you do to help and encourage people to become whole again.
Well, I'll tell you what. You got one of the things you gotta learn is that we have given up our time. We have just given it away blatantly free. Because if you look at time, you have to recognize something, that there's a tick and a tock. Everybody goes tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. What people fail to realize is that there's a tick, stop, tock, stop, tick, tock, stop. A time to stop your activity every once in a while, including eating activity, then you're going to have problems. And you're giving away that stop. That stop is valuable just as the tick and the tock is. And on that note, if you take a little break, so then I can take a little stop between the tick and tock, and then we come back and hit this. Why don't you hit a couple of songs out there?
Sure. All right. So I'll throw a couple of songs on. You sit tight for the good people.
I can go to the bathroom and stuff.
Not a problem. Are you still with us, Dr. Bombay?
Yes, even if they kill me, I'll still be with you.
That's right. Now, I'm still joined by and honored by the great Dr. Bombay, who is talking with us about the healing of the body, what we need to do, what we haven't been doing, the truth of it. And now, I would, if I may, can you give us a treat, a little sneak peek into the lecture that's coming up in New York City in a couple of weeks?
Absolutely. The first thing, just on a little side note, we want to take a little bit of time with what we dropped on them for that first half hour that I was here, so that they could call their friends and family and tell them get on this radio station, because I'm about to drop some more science over here.
It's coming. I hope you're ready.
Call in and your people and everything, and get on this station right now and start listening, because I'm about to go down. I'm going to throw down. We're going to go deep into this stuff, but we're going to go deeper when I'm over there at the NAMA. And I know a lot of people are not in New York that are hearing this broadcast, may not be able to make it, so we'll give them an opportunity to connect with us also. And you know what happened is this, my friend. In that break, a gentleman happened to ring my doorbell, and my friend answered the door, and he offered the book. I want to share him with you for a minute, if it's okay with you.
Sure.
All blues related, and I'll let him communicate directly with you. This is Catfish. Hello.
Catfish, how are you, sir?
Yes, well, my name is Lorenzo Jones, my AKA is Catfish in the Blues. I do a radio show live 6 hours every Saturday in Detroit, and I'm also a blues historian. Matter of fact, I'm the cousin, and I was the last manager of Sleepy John Estes in Brownsville, Tennessee, if you ever heard of that guy.
Well, I play him every week.
You heard of him?
I very much so, sir. I'm a folklorist and a bluesman. I absolutely heard of Sleepy John.
Right, but if you know anything about that Tennessee blues, that blues trail, I'm a part of that. I've been in Detroit for 20 years, but I'm originally from Nutbush, Tennessee. And that's where we are from. Anyway, I'm enjoying your show. I'm glad the good doctors showing me what's going on in New York, and looking forward to you guys getting a chance to check us out here, because we have a show that comes on every Saturday, 88.1 FM WHPR, and we're on the internet as well. They can pick it up, and we'll start a dialogue with you just like we do with Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, with 88.1 down there. And I'm being educated with everything I'm hearing, and I'm so proud of your show. I'm really proud of your show, and I will be tuned in myself from now on. So I won't take up too much of your time, but you know what, DJ, you don't know how to shut up.
It's quite all right, man, because that's what we do. But I will say I appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that you encourage what we're doing over here. And off the air, I definitely want to talk to you about a few things, because I'm a big fan of John Wesley's work, all three of them. So we have and Sleepy John. So there's a lot you and I have to talk about. So I would like to talk to you off air, if that's okay.
Wonderful, because we work directly with the Smithsonian in D.C. in terms of blues artists, and I work with blues artists here in Detroit, Las Vegas, and also Memphis, definitely in Memphis. And believe it or not, speaking of blues, the most latest creation recently, and Dr. Bay was on the same show with them Saturday, the first black rock group that was back there with Hendrix them in the day is called Black Murder. Google that, and I'm sitting up here next to my partner who's the drummer.
Wow, nice.
Go back to the 60s, man, and so you're going to hear a whole lot about that, and we're going to pass it on down here in Michigan, all about your show and people to tune in. And so I get the link, and we'll take it from there, because this is what you're doing is what I have been trying to do for the last 30 years.
Wow.
Didn't know how to get it internet-wise like you've done it, So I'm going to be following your lead, and we'll be helping each other make this thing happen. And there are so many blues artists that need to be recognized. Matter of fact, I'm going to close with this. The guy who wrote the song for Etta James, we've been with him, and he's a part of the group here, who wrote the song for Etta James, Blind.
I'd rather go blind.
I'd rather go blind. His name is Fuji, and you can Google him as well. And let me tell you something. It's a long, beautiful story. He wrote that song for Etta James, and the story about that, you know the history of it being in Cadillac Records, and Beyonce sang the last song in that movie.
Right.
We got a lot to talk about, my brother.
Yes, we do, and we definitely will link up. I really appreciate those words of encouragement, because you know it gets tough, but the tough get going.
You're right. Ray Charles said, you got to make it do what it do.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, my old brother. I'm going to get your information, and when I get off air, I will definitely contact you.
Magnificent, magnificent. God bless. Keep going.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Mm-hmm.
This is all live and direct, y'all. This is what happens here on Jack Dapper Blues. It's all live. It's all love. It's all culture. Please, Dr. Bombay, continue. And thank you for that introduction, sir.
I got love coming to this house every day.
That's what it's about, man.
If I were to tell you, music-wise, the music is also healing. You know, sleep is healing, you know. And then Marvin Gaye got the other one covered up, too.
Absolutely.
He's a master at that. And I was going to do a show with him some time back before he passed away. I've been involved with the music business, too. In 1979, 80, I was one of the 7 DJs that helped put Madonna on the map with Jelly Benitez.
Wow. That's history right there.
Yeah, you know, and they of course, you know, it's monkey business, so you know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now you're about to drop some gems on good folk in regards to the upcoming event and tied into what we were discussing about digestive systems, inner, outer, and the father.
Absolutely. And what I'm trying to do also is in between give people an opportunity to call their friends and family and let them know to come on and listen to your show. And we take a break in between so that they can call their friends and family and get them on this show because they need to hear this. This is very important because not only by way of music, but by way of music, we're able to bring things out. If you look at a lot of artists that really were into music, and they were playing their instrument or whatever, and they sat, and as long as they weren't doing no, you know, heroin and all that other kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In that business too. And we have something for that too. How about removing the memory of doing drugs ever in your body?
Wow. Talk to me about that because, you know, there's so many of us that struggle to stop smoking cigarettes.
That's fine. You know, one thing about me is I don't tell nobody what to do because you can't tell nobody what to do.
Absolutely not.
I was in Clarksville, Tennessee, and I was taken to this lady's house. She had cancer. You know, and we talked, and, you know, she got to stop doing pop or soda or whatever they call it. They call it pop over here. They call it soda in New York.
That's right. That's right.
Different names and all that stuff. It's the same old thing, you know, and it's going to hurt you. And I'm sitting there with the lady, and I'm discussing this and that, and, you know, she's like, well, I like to have a Pepsi once in a while, and my little Snicker bar every once in a while, and this kind of stuff. And I'm like, look, you have to make the decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you got to stop doing it. You should know that. If you got me sitting here talking to you, providing you a way out from this mess that you got yourself into, that you got your body into, then you need to do certain things on your own because you have to see the wisdom of yourself.
Absolutely. So would you consider yourself we all have our own lanes, right? So please forgive me. I'm not comparing you to anyone, but for those, there's a group of my listeners who know who you are and what we're talking about, if they have subscribed to you or not. But there's some who are totally lost. So with that being said, would you place yourself in the category, forgive me again, that's just an easy word to use to describe what I'm saying. Would you place yourself in the category of Dr. Sebi or the Grenadian brother or Dick Gregory?
I've met Dick Gregory. I did a show, Caesar's Palace, with Jerry the Iceman Butler.
Wow.
With Nancy Wilson.
Wow.
With the brother who left Passion and went solo, Dr. York.
Yes.
I've done shows with Phyllis Hyman. I've done shows with the sister out of Brooklyn with that loudmouth with the pretty lips. What's her name? Jackson.
Millie Jackson.
Huh?
Millie Jackson.
Yeah. She brought a brother on stage with a leash on him and everything. I was impressed.
Okay. Well, but what your work would you consider it in that?
Bobby Womack needed. I had to provide him everything he needed.
Wow.
Hot water backstage. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. I understand. So please, in the last 11 minutes, let's discuss this upcoming lecture, because it's really important. You know, and I know next week we're going to have Brother North Star, but you're the headliner, so I would like the people to get an understanding of what this lecture is about.
It's about, as I said, education and guidance. You know, I am here to guide you. I'm not here to force it down your throat. You know, what I'm here to do is to educate you to your ancestry, to who you are, and to who you originally are. Man, then you got to have the original medicine. Learn the medicine. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Now, is food? I just want to break it down a tad bit. Does food? Is food part of this medicine, or what's part of the medicine? Just the whole, just how you treat your temple?
Well, all of it. Everything is involved here.
Okay.
It don't start with me. It starts with you. You know what I mean? If you know that you can take this thing and everybody look for a magic bullet, it don't work like that.
Thank you. And I'm really happy you said that.
The ancestry. That's why people got Alzheimer's. They can't remember their ancestry.
And I'm really happy you said that, because a lot of these get in shape quick fixes, whether it's to lose weight pills or whatever the case it is, it really is based on, and correct me if I'm wrong, people trying to do it immediately. Like, if I take this for 3 days, tomorrow I'm going to have a 8-pack and be ripped.
Well, you won't have an 8-pack, but in 3 days you can see the difference in what you're doing based on what we are providing you. Different, because when you start going to the bathroom, you got more mental clarity, you feel lighter, you don't feel heavy, you don't feel your weight anymore. You may be 300 pounds, but how about if I tell you can be weightless?
Wow, that's serious.
How about if you have issues with neuropathy, you got diabetes, now you're about to go to kidney dialysis? How about if we stop that? How about if you stop it?
Right.
If you've got prostate issues and you got a prostate and you got, let's say, Candida albicans, which is cancer in that prostate, you got fungus in that prostate, how about in 1 hour you reduce the prostate and get rid of that fungus? In 1 hour. Unheard of. That's what people say. Oh, Dr. Bombay is a little strange. I've been trying to figure him out for the last 3 years. I just can't figure him out. the hell did he get rid of prostate problem in 1 hour? I don't know about this guy. He's a fool. He's a quack doctor.
And so this is some of the things that you've heard throughout your journey?
Brother, I've been beat up, like shot down, and all kind of stuff. Been shot, stabbed, everything.
Seriously?
Dr. Sabi, let me tell you something about Dr. Sabi, since you mentioned him. Dr. Sabi said there's only one disease. What is that disease?
Ignorance?
Mucus.
He did say that, yes.
Ignorance is part A.
But he did say that. He sure did.
He said there's only one disease, mucus. And he's a physicist, and he was also pompous. He was very excited. He was running around. I cured AIDS, and I kept telling him, no, don't use that word. That's what you do.
Right.
If you do God work, you don't kill nobody.
Wow. Because God does the curing.
English, I look up the word cure, and you know what it said?
What?
Cow, take the skin and put all the stuff on it. You just cured cowhide. When you dead, you ain't got no diabetes, blood pressure, cancer, AIDS, nothing.
Wow.
So let them cure. And when you use their words, then you bring yourself into their presence, into their court system, into their jurisdiction. You can't touch a man of God.
No. That's a totally different jurisdiction.
Original medicine was led by God. So if I'm looking for certification, I want God's certification. I don't want their certification.
I'm clear.
Now I paid $300,000 to get their certification, but I could have spent the same time and in less time to get God's certification and know exactly what's going on. And I practice of that thing.
I hear that.
Back in the days, we lived to be, 120 years old, the last recorded history? How come we can't even live 60, 70 years old no more? If I knew I could live to be 120 years old, I'd take a year off and learn how to walk on air like Jesus.
It's real, though. I dig it.
Because I know I live to be 120. But now I don't know how long I'm going to live, so I'm rushing my life. I'm at this ease. I'm not at ease no more because I don't know how long I'm going to be here.
Wow.
Back then, we had the confidence of living long lives. And if you got 120 years old, 120 years, fine things to do.
Do you know it?
You know, like killing enemies with energy. Walking on air. Like if a thief comes to steal something and you sit down and meditate on it and spend 6 months and the thief comes and brings it right back to you, that's who you are.
Wow.
You have these powers.
That's deep.
You know, so there's a lot more to it.
Absolutely.
But the bottom line is digestion. You know, we're not digesting emotions no more. People getting up in the morning depressed. They don't know what the hell is going on. Why are you depressed? Because you ate all that processed food. That's making you depressed.
Y'all listening, folks?
Watch what happens. You get up in the morning with a bright, smiling countenance, and you're ready to run out the door and do what you got to do. But now you get up and you don't know why you're depressed. And you're laying there like, you know, what's going on?
No, it's serious. That's really, really serious.
This is most serious, brother.
And it's happening right in front of everybody's eyes.
Yeah, because sleep is also rejuvenative. It heals you. What happens when you sleep? Think about it. When you sleep, all your nerves get cut off when you hit REM sleep. There's only one nerve that keeps working, which helps you breathe. So when you see somebody laying there in a deep sleep and they're breathing hard, but they can't move. Because if you lay next to your partner and you got this dream of fighting a gorilla, next thing you know, you beat up your wife in bed.
No, it's real.
God is great. Of course he knows what he's doing.
Why are you laughing? It's the truth.
Memphis, Tennessee laughing. It's a Tennessee laugh. Laughter is the best medicine, right?
It sure is. It sure is. Oh man! First and foremost, I have to thank you for taking the time. We have to schedule another time for you to come up on here so we can talk a little more. But I just want to make sure everybody is clear that Wednesday, March 15th at 5 o'clock. Starting at 5 o'clock, the great event at New Amsterdam Musical Association, a.k.a. NAMA Harlem, in Harlem. Dr. Bombay will be there speaking to the good folk. You know, again, I really appreciate your time. I'm gonna I have to contact you off air so we can get you back up here again. Is that okay?
Yes, sir, it is. And just let the people know that those that can't make it to Harlem and they're not in the Harlem area or they just can't make it there, they can also go to the website, which is drbombay.net, DOCTORBOMBAY.net. And they can also contact me on the phone because you don't have to be left out just because you can't make it. You know, and my number is 516-669-4488. Once again, that's 516-669-4488. And it's DOCTOR, you got to spell it out, Dr. BOMBAY.net. And just for the audience's sake, I'm not a medical doctor. You know, the reason why my name is doctor is because I was anointed doctor by the higher angels back in 83 to go on this mission. And I refused to go on that mission back then because I was so involved with Madonna and doing shows. I was involved with the Tyson Spinks fight. I was a promoter for those kind of things. Back in the days, I was a DJ. We did some of the Motown medleys with Run DMC beats and stuff with my boys, the Puerto Rican family that I have in New York. So my family is the world family, and I love each and every one of my brothers and sisters. I don't care what your color is. As long as you got the right heart set, you got the right intention, then you are part of my family.
I hear that. Make sure you'll go to the website. Dr. Bombay, again, it's been a huge honor. Station ID is about to come on, so we got to cut it short, but I'm going to make sure I get the word out, and I will be speaking to you very soon. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome, sir.
Take care.
The digital delight of jazz and what's more on WFDU HD2, TNEC.